built my first system in Namibia, in Gornikontes, of all places in the desert. And maybe to show what we've traveled so far is, back then I paid 47 Rand per watt for a panel, and it was actually a 205 watt panel from Panasonic. Was very proud of it, got a very good price. Back then, that was roughly $6.50 per watt. Per watt peak. Just to give you an idea, this is like, you know, we're talking about, let's give it, 13, 14 years back. Before the COVID crisis hit us, I mean, we had panels sold already in the range of about $20 into big projects. That shows you where this journey took us. And back then, as I said, it's a 205 watt panel, and today we're delivering at the moment 660 watt panels and 665 watt panels to a place called Tronox, Lichtenberg in the northwest. For the Tronox projects, that's 260 megawatts that is get built there at the moment as we speak. And it shows you the development and how fast this development is. Now, in terms of the renewable energies, and this morning, just before I hopped onto the plane from Cape Town to come here, I watched on the YouTube channel, because I got the link quickly and I looked at it and I saw this picture that everybody uses of the sun and the amount of energy the sun sends us. And it's quite amazing to see how that energy is there for free, basically, for us, and we just need to harvest it. And the talk about nuclear and nuclear fusion is also there, and I'm a great fan of nuclear, by the way, but not on this planet. I think up there in the sky, it's perfectly there. It's clean. We don't have to deal with waste. We don't have to deal with security and all of these kind of things. By the way, did you know that we have a place called Pits in the Northern Cape? Pits has got a non-exclusion zone of 30 kilometers around it. That's where we store our nuclear waste from South Africa, which is not a lot. It's minute compared to other places. If you use that area, that 30-kilometer exclusion zone around Pits, and you put solar panels down there, like one big area of solar panels, that would be more than enough to cater for the 260 terawatt hours that we need for South Africa. So again, it shows these perspectives that we've got and where the future lies. I believe we're in infant stages of renewable energy. We're in infant stages of solar, although I must say the first solar panels that were really commercially used in very harsh environments were in space, and that was Shot Solar, I think in 1958. They sent solar panels out into space for satellites. So that shows we've got a long journey, but the real journey for commercializing solar has just begun, I would say, in 2005 and 6, when Germany started their rollout program for solar. And again, a very good comparison. In Germany, you harvest about 600 to 900 kilowatt hours per year per square meter. Just to put that into comparison, in the Northern Cape, in Kathu or Sishen out there, we've got values of 2,600 and 2,800 kilowatt hours per year on a square meter. It shows you how gifted we are with that energy in Africa all over, and especially in South Africa, Namibia, Botswana, these areas. So we can really use that kind of energy very easily to run all of our energy needs. And yes, I know we need spinning reserves, we need all of these kind of things in a network like the one we have got in Eskom. But again here, let's think, when did we see the first lithium-ion batteries coming into the market? Well, they were used for cell phones and these kind of things. But again, it's right at the beginning. So I think, again, here on storage and storage solution, we just have started. And if I look at the investments that are going into that, I saw numbers in 2014 already. There was about $75 billion US R&D money invested into finding storage solutions. And if you put so much money at a problem, you will find solutions. And maybe that's not going to be called a lithium-ion battery or a battery at all. It's going to be something completely new, which might come out of all this research that is happening at the moment. So looking at the development of solar PV and looking at Canadian solar, we started in 2001. Our chairman, Sean Shu, he was in Canada, did his PhD, and by sort of accident, he saw a tender from Volkswagen. And the tender asked for trickle chargers for Volkswagen in Mexico and in Brazil to charge cars when they left the factory. And they were standing there before they got shipped. And the batteries were depleted, and yeah, they had to replace batteries. So they were looking for that kind of thing. So Sean went to his bosses where he worked, and he said, I want to participate in this tender. And they said, nah, solar chargers, this is like small stuff. We're not going to get into this solar anyway. You know, it's maybe a little bit for camping or so. But anyway, he did that tender. And he got invited by Volkswagen, and Volkswagen said, okay, present your stuff. And he did all the presentations, and they said to him, you got the tender, you can go ahead. And he was like a little bit shocked, because at that time, he only had a company registered called Canadian Solar. And that company was, just a postbox kind of company, because he was just doing some research work with that and stuff like that. And they say, no, we know you don't have a real company, but here's the order. Go to the bank, get financing, and build your factory. We want these chargers from you. And the reason why was because he just had done his PhD and now did another PhD kind of on these solar trickle chargers. So he worked out what is the temperature in the car, what is the radiation losses behind the windscreen, because he had to put a little solar panel there and put it into the cigarette lighter. All of these things he worked out, and then he knows exactly what he's doing. So what happened 6 or 8 weeks later, I can't remember the exact time, Volkswagen phoned him and said, we're going to do a factory audit. And he said, okay, but I just got the money, I bought some machines, I've rented some factory space, but I'm not there yet with a factory that can be audited. And he said, that's fine, we know you're not ready, but we have to come anyway. That's policy at Volkswagen. 6 weeks after the order has been given, we do an audit. So they arrived and they spent time there, and they showed him how to do production automation. I mean, Volkswagen know how to do that. They also showed him quality control. And all these things are still today ingrained in Canadian Solar's products. So we're really thankful to Volkswagen to give us that first order, but also to show us how to do quality and production. Anyway, from then we've produced a lot of modules. I think we've got now over 75 gigawatts out in the market. The market is expanding quite dramatically, and if I look at this year, we want to end with a capacity of 50 gigawatts production of solar panels just in Canadian Solar, and we are not the only ones. And it shows you again, globally, there's so much happening at this in this space that we will have a lot of new production coming online. And at the moment, yes, I know who of you that might want to have a solar system. You battle to get a good installer, and they battle to get modules or batteries or inverters. But that is just a snapshot at the moment. I think that will solve itself, and we will see that. Looking at the efficiency of panels, we are now with TopCon panels at about 22.4 efficiency, percentage efficiency that's calculated on the surface that they take up. But it shows you that that's not all. That's now, we went from a 60-cell module to a 72-cell module. Then we had half-cut cells in the module to lower the current and make the modules more efficient. But going forward, we increased the cell sizes, and now the next new thing is having bifacial modules. That's what's going to be used now on those big projects. Also the projects from Scatec, the Kennard projects in Uppington, are also with bifacial modules. So bifaciality means there's an albedo light from the reverse side of the module that also adds energy. So if you take a 660 watt panel, you might end up from that panel at good radiation and good albedo values at roughly about 830 watts on that panel. So it shows you there's so much more technology still to come for these solar solutions. And we are really blessed. I mean, you all know our gravel roads with that calcrete, this white glaring calcrete. You put that down below a ground-mounted system, especially in the farming industries, and you will get huge or much better efficiencies out of that. So I think my time is up for this intro. I will see you later in the discussion.